Welcome everyone. My name is Gio, and I'm the brand representative here at the Magic Square. And this is our first podcast series where we're going to be introducing some of the projects recently listed on the Magic Store while discussing some of the hottest topics in the Web3 space. And on today's agenda, we have Nika from Aniborgs and the topic of Web3 gaming and some of the recent and upcoming news that we're going to be seeing in 2024. So, hi Nika, how are you? Do you hear me?
Yep, of course, loud and clear. Hello, everyone. My name is Nika. I'm a senior partnership manager and a co-founder at Aniborgs. If you don't know, it's a Web3 move to earn and play and earn application on Polygon blockchain. We have launched in 2023 August. So far, we have been in an active beta testing phase, and now we are moving on to launching our product live without any beta, and as well as performing the token launch as well. So it's pretty huge year for Aniborgs, for me, for everybody, and I'm very excited to be taking this podcast together with Gio and talk about Web3 and Magic Store and Magic's and Aniborgs.
Absolutely, would love to hear that. So, yeah, thank you very much for a brief introduction to your project. So, I just want to give you a bit more time if you could just elaborate on why you decided to be listed on the Magic Store. What does the Aniborgs represent? What kind of game is it? I heard it's Mood to Earn. I looked over your page on the Magic Store. I saw the screenshot, but I never actually played. So if you could just explain to me how exactly do you play Aniborgs and why do you decided to be listed on the Magic Store?
Yeah, sure. So as I mentioned, Aniborgs is move to earn and play and earn application. Well, most of the majority part of the application right now is move and earn with some sort of
Okay.
play to earn elements integrated into it. And it's pretty straightforward. It's how you hear it, it's the way it is. Basically, you look and we are tracking every step, not with the GPS because it basically drains your battery. We are using the gyroscope. So
Okay.
when you're taking daily steps, even if it's at your house, in a club, or you're outside just walking, we're just monitoring the steps. And depending on how many steps you have taken, when you open the application, you are getting a reward in tokens, our native Aniborg tokens. So it's pretty simple. When you log into application, we have one play to earn element, which is the arena, where you compete with other players. It's peer-to-peer. And
Yeah.
depending on how many steps you have and depending on what rarity of NFT you have, you are getting matched against other people and you pay some fee. And if you win, you are getting rewards that are more than what you paid. And if you lose, you just lose the fee that you paid for the entrance. You get like free energy. So it's like maximum 10 to 15 minutes of your day. And at the same time, you are amping up your heart heart health and basically your cardiovascular system if you're really doing some daily steps just because of Aniborgs. If you're not, well, I strongly suggest because this is not like a financial advice because it's a free to play. You are also be able to play it for free, but just for the health as well. It's important to touch grass sometimes, and
Yeah.
while at the same time getting some sort of rewards, it's good. And the reason we decided to get listed with Magic Square is, I think Magic Square is one of the fastest growing listing apps. And I have been in touch with your team for more than a year. And it's a bullish team. You guys are awesome. We have taken a few spaces as well together. So yeah, I really love Magic Square and possibilities that we can do together in terms of collaboration and partnership
Absolutely.
is limitless. It's limitless. So yeah, pretty excited to be working with you together and especially doing this podcast with you, Gio.
Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. So yeah, I mean, I would say that I've seen many different Mood2M projects. There's certainly maybe over 10 or even 20 different Mood2M projects listed on the Magic Store. What do you think about Mood2Earn as a concept in general? Because you mentioned a lot of the stuff, especially you mentioned the peer-to-peer connections. So you have PvP, so-called PvP in the online gaming between different players. Would you say that it's one of your, I would say, core benefits in comparison to other mode to earn? I can think of an example of the step in, I think it was step in or step two application.
Steppen, yeah.
Yeah, it was step in
Yeah.
application. They were super popular. It was in all over the YouTube. Everyone went crazy about it, right? What would you say is difference between Aniborgs and Stepin besides the obvious graphic difference in the project?
Well, if you take it like that, if you compare us to Steppen, well, there is a huge difference because the Steppen is like a whole different category of move to earn, and Aniborgs is a different category of move to earn. I would say we are at the point in the market that you get move to earn applications that are not even competitors to each other. So if you take like one move to earn application, it can be categorized under a different category than the other move to earn applications. Like for Steppen, you I believe you had like boots, and you use these boots for a specific amount of time
Right?
in which only you are able to earn. For us, it's if depending you have NFT or you don't have NFT, you invested or not, you can download the application, and when you take the steps, you still get some token rewards. It may not be a huge amount, that it may not be the life-changing money or your monthly salary, but you get some tokens allocated to you for every single step you take. We value that you are using our application. What makes the Aniborgs unique is our approach to move to earn and integrating the play and earn elements as well into the application. So it's not only that you are having just walk and earning, but at the same time, maybe you are walking in a park. Walking in a park and chatting on the phone is like a normal procedure, right? I'm not saying do this on the road. Never do this on the road. If you're crossing a zebra, there are cars around. Do not take your phone and look at your phone. Look at the cars. But I'm saying when you are in the
Look
park
at the cars.
and you are taking a walk, right? And maybe you want to chat, you want to have some fun, you want to open some application, or you just want to see nature. That's also totally fine. But you know how it is. You know, we live in 21st century. It's just digital world. Everybody is in their phones. We are all addicted to some sort of scrolling or anything in that sort, right? So yeah, you can take out the phone and have some sort of little fun mini games while working and earning. That's what we are planning on integration, the play and earn elements in Aniborgs. So that with that being said, we have also a unique way of approaching the NFT marketplace, and basically how we use the NFTs and how we utilize them to spread our message to the community, give them the utility that they want, that they expect. Is we have two types of NFTs. So one is the investment-based NFT for those people who are, well, mostly money oriented and investment oriented. And this is a superhero. It's not exactly passive income, but you can consider it like that. You just get like share from the competition pool. So everybody, when they participate in PvP, they pay to participate, right? So these superheroes like earn the portion from that. And the different type of NFTs we have that you use for participation in the tournament. So active and passive. So yeah, this way we are trying to accommodate both needs of the type of investors that we have on the market. One of them are who are doing it for fun at the same time, earning some extra buck on top. And the other ones are just hard investors who want to make as much as possible from their initial investment and maximize their ROI.
Okay. So basically, you have a very diverse segmentation across your user base, and as far as I understand, you are not looking at your project like at the game that someone gonna just open up their phone and spend, let's say, 8 hours just playing and grinding in that game. It's more of an additional fun application to your daily life where you can just walk around. You are doing your daily activity. You are doing your, I don't know, your dog walk, for example, and you can also earn some coins while you are doing that dog walk. Essentially, just kind of the daily application, a bit of fun, a bit entertainment, a bit earning potential. So it's everything kind of combined into the routine of the user, right?
Yeah. So right now in today's world, a lot of social media apps, social platforms, they are already taking too much of your time. We are not here to do that, and it's not the type of application that the people will spend like 2 or 3 hours playing, right? And
Right.
we are not also trying to compete in that market, in that specific niche as of now. But yeah, this is an application that you open up daily, maybe like 2 or 3 times a day, because
Okay.
the energy that you get
Okay.
for your NFT is regenerated. So yeah, you spend like 10 minutes, 15 minutes maximum, could be 20 if you have like a lot of NFTs, but it's not like
Okay.
that time consuming.
Right. So essentially, you actually brought a good point about the time you spend inside the Web3 games, because for some of our audience types, right, Web3 gaming is still a very, very gray area where they are not really familiar with all of the projects. They heard the Axie Infinity, they heard some of the AAA titles, right? They never get their hands on it because you have to buy NFT, sign 11 transactions, you have to still go through the whole process. And I believe that's the reason we still suffer the issues from the mass adoption perspective, because the user journey is just too complicated, right? If I would take, let's say, a regular crypto user or even non-crypto user, just a guy who heard about the Bitcoin and he pretty much does not understand anything about, tokens, MetaMask. He just understands that there's some crypto, it exists, it may be scam, it may not be scam.
Yeah.
What benefit can Web3 gaming give to this guy if he's playing regular games, let's say? I personally see that Web3 has the benefit of ownership, right? So if I'm playing the conservative, let's say I'm gonna play a Pokemon Go, right? It was a very popular game. You can walk around the town just as you mentioned. You're gonna catch Pokemons. It was kind of fun for a while, then the hype teared down a bit. But if we were to take the Pokemon Go, or if we take Aniborgs as a Web3 game where you walk, but you actually earn, and the time you spend within the game, it's not gonna be wasted in a span of a year, because you can keep the NFTs and sell those NFTs so you can exchange them for value. Then it makes total sense, because you can monetize the resource, the human resource, which is time, right? You can monetize time of other
Yep.
people. They create their own kind of economy, and then they get the benefit of spending their time or spending their money investing in the game. But for regular user, it's really very hard to understand how is it possible. What benefit do you see in Web3 to a regular user, and why they should believe that it's possible to earn inside a game like yours, and why it's beneficial to play your game and don't go to the App Store and download a regular game if they have the same level of entertainment?
Well, think about it. If gamers had a chance to control the economy, but on a higher
Right.
scale in the game that they are playing, this is what makes me much more bullish on the Web3. You don't only have the ownership of your assets, but in most of the cases, if you are really looking to make a Web3 game, and you have to have some sort of decentralization into it.
Right.
That's what the problem is with the games, with the Web3 games, Web2 games. People do not really understand, because okay, let's say I'm playing Counter-Strike and I get skins there which are owned by Valve. If Counter-Strike just stops to exist today, they lose value, these skins, right? The same is going to happen with a Web3 game as well, right? Let's say there is a game, there is a game developer company behind this game. They launch token, they launch game, everything, NFTs. You have these NFTs, they are in your, let's say, cold wallet, even like your hardware wallet. They are totally yours, but this game publisher just rocks. They just run away. Okay, guys, we cannot lead the project anymore. The game is dead.
Like the server
In that case,
shutdown,
you
the World of Warcraft Lineage examples, so the online gaming examples where you spend like 5 years of your time and then the server shut down and you are like, where's my character? I spent 5 years grinding that character and grinding those assets. So where is it? Who do I approach? So you're saying that
Yeah.
decentralization is kind of solving this issue?
Yes, in some way, in some
Okay.
simple way. So my take is, well, first of all, when you have the economy based on the NFTs, on the token, which are owned by players and are traded by players and basically the investors, right? They are in kind of like charge of how the economy goes, and it's not like can be manipulated by a single entity. Let's say if Call of Duty decides, right? Well, they have already decided you can like buy as many tokens as you want, and they will print as much as they can. Which is not the case when something is on chain, right? When some data is available, there is like some limit of tokens you cannot print out of thin air. Then in that case, the economy stays somewhat stable. And what I mean by the decentralization is the key point here is DAO. What with the decentralized autonomous organizations? Why are they important? Well, for me, I think this is very important aspect if you tackle the subject of Web3 gaming in terms of asset ownership. There should be a DAO that is going to have some portion that will be able to lead the game as well.
Okay.
So just in case, let's say the game publisher decides to step away from the project, there is going to be a DAO who will be responsible, who are willing to be responsible to take up on the journey. These are going to be the players who own the token, who own the NFT, or however it will be distributed depending on their governance token, right? And they will have like voting rights, and people will decide themselves what is going to be the best for the game. Okay, we are going to hire this developer. Okay, we are going to hire this advisor. We are going to do this. We are going to do this, and they're going to be voting, and then they are just going to collaboratively choose the employees and guide the game to success. It's not the best case scenario that you do not have like a CEO or a project manager and you have a DAO, but that's the main point. You can still make it work if the game just rocks, right? Because there is a DAO and you still have this opportunity. So that's what my take is on how the Web3 games should be treated. But of course, it's always there is always an aspect of some Web2 influence, like this centralization influence. If I leave, the game is done.
I think
Right?
there's always going to be
So
an aspect of centralization because at some
yeah,
point you're going to look at, okay, now, for example, at the Magic Store, we have loads of benefits we can offer to any user that's DAO-centric, right? For example, your project was validated on the Magic Store by our community, right? We are not manually
yeah,
handpicking the projects, but we developed this system where our community can participate in the validation process. They can vote either yes or no, and based on the amount of votes, if it's over 50% yes, then you're gonna be listed on the store, and they get rewarded for participation, right? This is kind of, for us, it's, you can call it probably the outsourcing the work, right? And rewarding the users and incentivizing the users so they are happy to participate in a certain work, while also transferring the ownership to the users so they know this store can be trusted because it's not just one man standing behind the validation, right? So it's us to decide which project gonna be listed on the store. So it's kind of like, yes, we own the platform, but it's also owned by the community. Because if you think about it like that, you can't, I don't really believe that you can 100% give all of your platforms, all of your assets to the community unless you are a true altruist. You should keep some profit, you should keep some benefit to yourself, you should keep some type of the ownership or influence at some level, because at the first stage, you're gonna make sure that your vision is being adhered, and at the same time, you're gonna make sure you are not just building something so other people can take the advantage of you, right? Because building in crypto is tough. I mean, you need developers, you need specialists who are specializing in the blockchain technology. I mean, it costs money, right? So I
a
think this
lot.
kind of yeah, a lot of money. That's why they are raising so many capitals just to build a simple platform, because it's actually more expensive than traditional app development. So I think you kind of need to find a way how you can build, transfer, keep, and preserve, right? I think that's kind of the
Yeah.
circulation of the Web3. You are essentially building the business, and you are giving away your business to the community of people who are generally interested in the success of this business. Let's say they have a lot of the tokens, so they want the prices to go up, and therefore they're going to be taking care of the certain process, attracting more people. In our case, you can refer friends, you're going to get rewards, right? So we have this system so people can help us grow, as well as we reward them for every action they take on the Magic Store. Literally every positive action on the Magic Store, you're gonna get rewarded in karma points, and then you're gonna convert them to our SQR token, which was recently launched. So it's kind of like, I think we found a very great intersection of the ownership, just the general, I would say, DAO structure, and then incentivizing the whole ecosystem so it fuels your platform to grow and fuels your community to succeed, both financially and from perspective of just purely following the project on the vision. And just speaking in terms of the DAO, I really believe that some of the things that keeps users safe is the smart contracts. I'm not sure if me and you talked about this before, but in the case that you just mentioned, that you can transfer some ownership to the community, if you initially build a smart contract that do not allows you to, let's say, destroy your ecosystem with some irrelevant actions on your blockchain, then the users can feel kind of safe. For example, you can develop a smart contract that allows NFT assets that the users have to be uh, cross-transferable across your other projects, or you can develop a partnership with other companies. So it's kind of like, users feel more safe. What's your take on the smart contracts in general? And do you believe we can build games that are fully operated by players, while at the same time there's a centralized governance which cannot destroy the project no matter how hard it tries, so users can always feel safe that whatever they build gonna stay with them?
Well, it's possible what you are talking about. If we will be able to deploy the whole game as a smart contract, then we do not have to like worry about some entity changing something, because when you
Right.
deploy an immutable smart contract, you cannot change anything, right, on the blockchain. So that makes sense. But right now, let's say it's kindly like mostly impossible to deploy a huge game as a smart contract. So mostly the games are built on, well, let's say Unreal Engine, Unity, and there are some other coding languages that you can build the games on, right? So that's the main thing. That's what makes them have control, because they can change the code anytime. They can change the drop rate at any time, your reward rate anytime, like this. But when you're talking about the smart contract, it depends on what activities and what permissions are in that smart contract exactly. But yeah, if you are going to deploy a smart contract which has main um, entities and main, let's say, activities that you can change or affect centrally, deployed in a smart contract, and it could be governed by a DAO plus plus minus like team votes, let's say. In that case, I think smart contract is a very viable solution, and you can get an audit to make sure your smart contract is safe. You are not gonna get liquidated. Nobody's gonna just find some sort of bug or like a breakthrough through your smart contract. That's also an important aspect. It's still amazing how new, old, and very young this space is at the same time. We kind of like know everything, but at the same time we don't know anything,
Yeah.
and we are trying to find the best of the best. And what it amazes me is every single year there is something happening which makes you go like, what? did this really happen in Web3? So yeah, I think we have a lot of room to improve on terms of Web3 gaming. And I totally understand when Web2 gamers do not feel the best of the best, like comfortable to switching to Web3 because of the stereotypes going on around there, around here with the scams. Well, obviously, while when you are inviting someone to do crypto, like to buy NFTs, look into the projects and stuff like that. First of all, is you have to teach them the security because there are just a lot of scammers. It's not the crypto is a scam. It's just there are a lot of people because there is well, it's less regulated. Let's say less regulated. If you're taking on a decentralized blockchain, it's obviously less regulated by a central entity. There is no police or something like that, right? So obviously there are going to be more people who are trying to take advantage of you. Then the one way not to get taken advantage of is to educate yourself, learn some security. And in that way, if you know your security, you know some basic code languages, basic code lines, maybe you can also try and do what some other people are doing. I was in some alpha groups, and these people, they are just menaces. You know what they do with the gaming projects and stuff? They investigate their smart contracts and they find breaks in their code just to understand if the project is a rug or no, if they have a potential to rug. So yeah, they are looking for this small details as well. And the only way to tackle is education. And this is the Web3 is not a space for gambling. The Web3 is a space of just if you want to succeed, you have to be smarter than someone else because that's basically the closed system. So yeah, that's my take. Is just to be educated is gonna leave you out of the scams and
Right.
it will make you make more rational decisions when choosing the game with the best smart contract that is not going to rug in a 5 months or 4 months.
Okay, so the education is key. I completely agree with you. However, I do think that if you would force a regular internet user to get really good at, some of the security aspects in the form of just gathering knowledge, as you mentioned, learn to write a few lines of code, that already seems not very doable for a regular user to jump into Web3. And as I mentioned before, I think one of the biggest challenges for the mass adoption, the reason we are still so small, but yet we exist and we are all building something, which means that we actually provide value to the market. We actually see a lot of the perspective in the Web3. It's not coincidence that so many projects are raising such a big capitals, and there's so many users. On the Magic Store, we have over 3 million monthly active users. It means the demand. It means that market really wants to explore Web3. They are curious about the Web3. But as you mentioned, if we were to force people to learn coding, even at the basic level, to just be secure about the project they are contributing, then we are really not in the best position to, hope for the next bull market after this one. Because, at some level, as you mentioned, the scams, there's one scam, let's say FTX, right? One scam happened.
Oh,
All the news is talking about the FTX. Nobody talks about the new project deployment on Solana that's actually like better than Battlefield because it's developed by the AAA studio. Nobody's going to talk about the positive. As a marketer, I'm telling you, the negativity gets more clicks. And for the
yeah,
people who are not in the crypto, they would never get their hands on any news beside negative because only negative news pass the mainstream media abroad
yeah,
the crypto space. So that's kind of
that's
the
what
issue we
they've
have.
had. Yeah. The one way to fix this, what we do it at Aniborgs as well, is the account abstraction. So what is the best way of not getting scammed? One is the education, right? And another thing is not having like enough space to get scammed. So at Aniborgs, what we do when they download the application, when users use it, we try to use account abstractions. They don't even see that they have created a wallet. We generate it for them, we create it for them. But they have full ownership of the wallet. They have their keys, their secret phrase, everything. If they want to decide to use their wallet, they are free to do so, to learn, but at the same time, it is kept in the application. And as long as their phone is not hacked, they're in the smart contract, they are safe from the scam.
Right.
I'm sorry. Yeah, basically because they are only using our application, no third-party sources. So with that, if you apply account abstraction, that's one of the easy ways to get somewhat mainstream and will highly adopted with the Web3 into Web2. Not show the users of Web2 that they have to create the wallet, they do this, do this, do this, do this. Just make it easy. Just make it like it's like Web2. People like easy. We don't like hard. We never like hard. So
Right.
yeah, account abstraction is the way for the adoption. It's one of the ways.
Right. Right. At the Magic Star, we also do similar thing. We have like many different methods you can sign in. You can also sign in via Google, and you can use the common functionality of the store without actually attaching your wallet. You need wallet obviously if you want to grab the rewards, because you need some place to store the rewards. It's just kind of how it is, right? There's no way around it. But for you to just discover Web3 applications, see the description, check the reviews, somebody can go to the magic.store, they can type in Aniborgs, they can see the reviews, they can see the description, they can see your social links, they can get an idea of the project. And essentially, the reason I'm so kind of, I would say I'll talk a lot about the project of the user adoption, because at the Magic Store, we believe that one thing you need to do is to simplify things, right? You need to simplify process in order to attract more users. So if before Magic Store you had to go to the Reddit, go to the Discord, go to the Telegram, ask your friends, go to the Twitter feed just to discover Web3 applications, right now you can just go to our store and you can type in the search bar, or you can search by genres, say by different categories, right? And you can discover 1,000+ different applications. And there's, I think, not more than 3,000 applications in the Web3 at all that are post-production ready by some of the statistics that I read, which is actually a very small market. I mean, we are not even the half of one Apple store, right? So it's a small market, and it's kind of like, okay, you can't even find those applications, and this is what we are trying to solve, because it just like everyone has the Twitter. It's similar to like seeing the projects who are following the same template. Build a landing, write the white paper, sign in on Twitter, do some giveaways. It's like everybody's following the templates, but nobody's really trying to be different or provide value. And I see that change in the trend in the recent months, because I talked with a lot of the projects on the MA, and they are all switching more into, let us actually try and solve real problems instead of imaginary problems that nobody had in the first place.
So yeah, with the international transfers being one of the key features of Web3 and crypto, it's not only that, it's how fast it is, how scalable it is. There are many real world applications that you can use blockchain for, and it's proven record that it's making life easier. It's making the management easier. It's making the development easier. Well, you may ask how, why? Basically, what the world is doing right now is we are moving to more digitalized world. What it gives us, or what does this more digitalization give you? Let's say there are some blockchains. Maybe you have heard about Cardano, and I'm sure if you are somewhat invested in the Web3 space, I don't know who you are, but you probably have heard about Cardano ADA, right? They are they are working together with the Georgian government and Georgian institutions, let's say, and there is one Georgian institute, TSU, and they are basically storing all the data and everything that they have on blockchain, like the diplomas, educational records, and awards and everything. We also have a system. I'm talking about my country because I have this information already. So yeah, but we can apply it to more general terms. But in the first place, I will talk about the country that I live in. Well, in the Justice House, they also are implementing the usage of blockchain, because when you have the blockchain, it's not the system that is governed by one single entity, one single server. If you cut the servers, you destroy the computers, boom, the server is gone. You cannot retrieve unless you have like a backup files, and so on and so on, right? But when you have the something which is on a scalable and scaled a big blockchain, it's there. It's on the blockchain. You cannot remove it unless you take all the computers at the same time. And well, it's which is technically impossible. So I'm not gonna even dive into the details on how you can do this. But yeah, if you have all the validators or all the computers, all the miners that are working on a blockchain at the same time, then okay, you might be able to change or alert it in some way, but not like that. When you destroy one computer, it's on another computer on the other part of the world, on the other end of the world. Yeah. So
Right.
it makes sense. It's more secure. It's less centralized. Obviously, there can be an influence of the government hand, but it's somewhat important because I have been on a few conferences where this was discussed in larger scales, right? But yeah, you can talk about, it's much easier to transfer the explicit content or money earned from black money, let's say, right? The drug money and this kind of money as well. So there is going to be a lot of blockchains, and there are obviously going to be the government involved. But the thing is, the real world application of blockchain is limitless. And the only thing it can do is make our lives easier. Just by imagine the digitalization of everything. You are not getting a ticket on your email, but you are getting a ticket for your concert that you are going on or for an event that you are visiting as an NFT to your wallet. There is no way that somebody is going to take that ticket from you. It's unique. It's in your wallet. You are the owner. They cannot fake it because it's on the blockchain and it says that it's your wallet. They cannot fake your wallet. They cannot. They just simply cannot fake your wallet because
Right.
if you're going to check it on the blockchain, it's not doable. So there are many applications that blockchain can be used in real life, and it's just a matter of time. If you had noticed as well, you're very invested in the space. So if like after every single halving moment, Bitcoin halving moment, you see some big public figures who were like anti-Bitcoin. They are slowly becoming the pro-Bitcoin people.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a matter of time once people understand what's the real value besides and behind the crypto world, beside the Web3, and what people we are here that are trying to achieve, and we are well, maybe we are doing for fun as well to make some games and stuff like that. But all this is to contribute to the ecosystem to make it grow, make it shine. Ecosystem needs to be moving all the time. So yeah, we are part of the ecosystem. We may not be doing something that life changing with the blockchain, but we are keeping it running because people like to have fun. Humans are like that. You need to have fun.
Absolutely.
And we talked about this as well. Well, the thing is, the simplicity attracts, and then the generosity incentivizes. So yeah, it's up to people once blockchain is simple, and then they see what's the potential from the blockchain and how generous it can be if you are well invested in the blockchain and well educated in blockchain. Then it incentivizes already these people who are attracted to Web3 to do more things with the Web3, like creating more wallets, buying a cold wallet. setting up your own ledger. So that's all. So yeah, it's a simple take with a simple quote, and I believe everybody in the future will be using the digitalized version of money, and most of the things that we are doing through the emails and everything which is centralized will slowly move to blockchains. Because I don't want to ramble a lot, but I also have to say this because this is very important. What is one thing that there is a huge waste of time in the industry right now? APIs, interoperability. Everybody is working on different languages of coding. Everybody is building somewhere, and then you have to like figure out, okay, how do I take this from here to my project, connect here, this. It's getting hectic. And if you're both building on the same blockchain, you already have a common ground, which is much easier to implement any kind of interoperability you can imagine, whether it will be between games, between payment providers, gateways, anything. So yeah, it's just making our lives easier, and I hope people understand it.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. I see a lot of the this Web3 partnership culture. You partner with every project you see online for the sake of the cross marketing. That's very common tactic. But I also believe that could be beneficial for you because the Web3 space in general has a different communication culture, right? You are not messaging the friend of yours, which is founder of the Web3 project in the Telegram, when you are dealing with some enterprise level strategic operations, right? You are not messaging anyone, let's do a giveaway on the Twitter. So the Web3 at some point, maybe because it's small, maybe because a lot of the Web3 is run by people who are not really familiar with the corporate culture, because the Web3 at some level, it assisted a lot of the users who yet to be familiar with the marketing or with the development and raised their interest and made them transfer some of their projects into the crypto space simply for the sake of the hype and simply for the sake that they are really investing in crypto, but they don't know anything about the corporate culture. For example, when I worked in the companies that are not related to the fintech technology, right? They are not related to the Web3 in any regard. The whole communication and just the way you talk to people is completely different. In crypto, it's completely different area, right? And what you mentioned about the two sides of the same argument. You mentioned the black money in the Web3 market, which is quite a sensitive topic, and I believe it shouldn't be that much of an issue to talk about it, because ultimately, if you want to have decentralization, you can have complete decentralization with the people who are gonna use it against the centralized systems, aka black money, illegal trading, and all that kind of stuff. So you have to decide on which side of the internet you are. You want a centralized, more safe version of the internet, or you want more free version of the internet with all the outcomes that it might purport to your personal life, right? I think that the general advice of being educated can help you a lot, because at the same time, you're not going to be choosing decentralization if your common priority might be safety at some regard. But anyone should have, by my opinion, at least a choice of two, right? Whether it's a free speech or it's centralized speech, but I prefer one because I'm a bit sensitive to certain topics, or I have the option to be on the second side because, I like to be controversial and just having my opinion spread across the Twitter, right? So kind of you choose social platform. You want a more free speech, you go to the X, right? You won't have a game that's not gonna shut down, that's not gonna be shut down by developers. You go to the Web3, but there are less games that you can play, So you have to decide on really what's your preference. And speaking in regards to preferences, a lot of the people are really curious on how to make money in the Web3. They see Web3 as a shiny object, and they see that there's loads of opportunities. The bounty hunters, for example, the people who just sit on Twitter and try to get as many airdrops and giveaways as possible. and they do it full time, 8 hours, 10 hours per day. They're based somewhere in the third world country. So for them, those giveaways actually make a living in some cases. And I've seen personally, you remember the case with the Axie Infinity probably, where a lot of the Filipino people from Philippines, they were literally making an European salaries living in the Philippines by playing Axie Infinity. So that centralization not only comes with all the negative outcomes, but it also comes with the globalization in some cases. Because now you don't have to, provide a lot of the certificates to get a job at the company. You can just find some project who don't really cares what's your origin. They have the opportunity to earn and they want your time to be invested. So they kind of calculate the pay, they kind of calculate the incentives based on the global picture. So this way, you have people from Philippines making a living in the play-to-earn gaming, right? Do you think it's still the case? And what Web3 earning opportunities, as I may call them, would you suggest to investigate for maybe the regular gamer who is trying to get paid by playing his favorite games, but he don't want to be streamer, he don't want to be on social media, he just want to, find a way to invest his time better. So he plays games, but he at least makes some money. What advice would you give to that kind of people? Does Web3 solves that issue, which is kind of new?
Yes. And what you think is your dream, it could be your reality in Web3. It's very easy. It's stupid how easy it is. You imagine and you can make it. Let's say you want to earn money by testing the game, just by playing some game, being a tester, you can get that. You can find the project easily. And you know how you start the communication with them? By saying hello, hey fam, what's up, hey bro. This type of communication. It's just it's just a way, maybe because we are a small community. Well, some people are like, well, you have to keep your ethics. I know, I understand. Keep your ethics, be normal, be professional, be polite. But it's also sometimes just email, wait for 3 days, 4 days, 10 days, get an interview, wait another 2 days, 3 days, 5 business days. It's not like that. In Web3, it's just rapid. It's new, it's small. We are, as you mentioned, there are like 2,500 projects, right? Ready to go products on Web3. So yeah, you can see how small it is. That's why there is an opportunity for it to be growing faster. Just I will bring up like a small example is for a Bitcoin, let's say to do 5x is very hard, right? Like in a short period of time.
Sure.
And for a new token that launched, which has like a market cap of like $100,000, for them to do 5x, it's relatively easy because they are small, they are just starting, right? So it's the opportunity that you need to take. It's still early, and it's never going to be late in crypto in the next 20 or 25 years. Anytime you step into crypto in the next 10 or 15 years, you are still going to say I'm early, because that's how it works. So yeah, just think about it. If you want to be a playtester, if you want to play a game and be earning money from it, you can do this. There are a lot of games that are looking for testers. Well, if you want to be doing the content, I'm not saying video streaming and being a YouTuber and hello guys, what's up today? No, you can just be an editor. You can message the games to be their editor. And it's small, it's simple as it gets. It's just a Discord DM or opening a ticket, which may take them like 15 minutes to check. So just take your life in your hands as a gamer and see what you want to do. You want to be pro Web3 player, you can do that as well, because there are some games that have already good ranked systems, good player bases, and you can become a pro player in Web3. There are more Web3 AAA games coming to the market, which are involved in esports. They are organizing tournaments, and so on and etc., right? Which gives you much higher chances than competing with the whole global market of Web2 players, because there are hundreds, if not thousands times more people trying to succeed in Web2 industry, and there are just it's just abnormally much more players in Web2 than in Web3. You cannot even count or compare. So yeah, it's your way. It's your time to. If you're really into Web3, if you like what you are talking about and what you see as a Web3 from your perspective, then yeah, you'll have endless ways to make money, whether you are a gamer or whether you are a manager, you do some management or marketing, designing, anything, anything.
How do you think how hard it is for a gamer to make a complete normal living compared to an average salary, let's say in Europe or in his own country at best, by playing the play-to-earn games? Do you think it's doable? Do you think it's is to get onboarded? Do you think it's something that can become a mainstream where gamers only play Web3 games where they at least get some sort of the cashback of their time investment?
I know people who have done that and who are still doing this. They are not working. They don't have a job. They don't have a business. The only thing they do is they are at home in front of their laptop screens whole day, and what they do is play 5, 4, 6 accounts at the same time of different games, and they are making more money than me. And I'm not surprised, to be honest. It's the way of like how you take your thought process and basically how you use your mind, because there are endless ways of undiscovered opportunities to earn money on Web3 that people just haven't discovered yet, because it's so new, it's so brand new, and so much less people in Web3 than Web2. There are some ways that are not discovered. That's why what happens is there is sometimes a project, they are releasing something new, some new concept, new type of giveaway, or new type of airdrop, something which has never been done before, and then what it creates hype, and these projects gets boosted, and then they become one of the best of the best. Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah, it's just simply your mind, use your imagination. Just think about it. When you are home alone and you are playing a Web2 game, you are taking a break, and you're thinking about, oh man, imagine if I could be earning from this. Just when you have these thoughts during the game, after a game, well, there are sometimes thoughts like I was thinking one day, maybe I could be earning money just by sitting on the couch, maybe testing couches. It could also be doable. Maybe you could test some digital couches in some metaverse. Well, that's may technically not be possible, but to be honest, I'm not going to be surprised if there is going to be a guy making $100,000 per year doing this, testing digital couches in a metaverse. It's just as stupid as it gets. Just try to be mindful, and also, as we like to call it in Web3, degen in some way, and you will make your way very easily, very fast in the space.
So I was saying that, as far as I understand, there are many different ways you can end the Web3. You just use your imagination, and some of the crazy concept that's been on the mind of people for a long time that they can be implemented in the Web3 because it's a new industry. There's a lot of creativity involved, obviously, on the entrepreneurial side of things. I'm curious, do you think it's a way to live, it's a way to earn by contributing to the Web3 ecosystem, even if you are not employed? Let's say you are a gamer in the play-to-earn games. So the fact that you are earning, is this fact coming from the perspective of the in-game ecosystem? So you earn because the game is built in the way where you progress your skills, you can make money of it because you battle other players, you are the best, you make money from you playing, or you make money because the company has certain type of the incentivization that allows you to earn. Let's say you refer friends to the game because you sit on a Discord all day, basically the couch work, and just invite people and the company pays you, so you work directly with the company in the Web3. Or you have to find your own way, as you mentioned, and be a bit entrepreneurial about it. Let's say build a house in the metaverse and then rent this house for an advertising to a company. So which one of those three ways you was describing, or it just depends on the way you want to proceed? Would you say that it's company, it's the in-game economy, or it's just an online type of the business that you build within the metaverses, or you contribute to the ecosystem?
Well, as I said, it's unlimited. The opportunities are unlimited. You can be earning the same amount just because there was this game. I don't know if you know it. What was the name again? It was a poker, ice poker. You know ice poker?
I think I heard of it.
Yeah. So there was this game, like a poker game, and there had some NFTs. And at some point, it was so good that my friend built a business from this game just by playing this game for free. So there was like a scholarship system. He would rent NFTs for free from the guys who were holders, and he would pay them 50% of what he earned. He had like 5 or 6 laptops every day, and he would just do the poker games on the 6 laptops. And he was making $1,000 per day. So
That's
yeah, it's doable. It's just you have to turn on a little bit of your DJ mind, turn off this limitation that you have, that your brain created from Web 2, because the Web 2 is so exaggerated, it's so saturated that there are very, very small opportunities, and you have to be like genius to be earning a lot just by doing Web 2. If you're just playing Counter-Strike, then you have to be a good streamer to be making money from the Counter-Strike, right? Or you have to be a pro player to be earning from a Counter-Strike, which is either the team pays you, the sponsors pay you, or you win a tournament, and that's the way you earn money. But here, it can be either you go to a company and they pay you for you to just play the game, just test the game. They might even pay you just to turn on the game. So they have like active user base, they can promote it as they have active user base. So they do not want to use bots or something. And I have had this type of situations. Well, 2 years ago, I was really into the Web3 games and stuff. And I was playing one game and I was getting $2 per 30 minutes of play just by playing one game. And I was like, okay, I like playing this game. So whenever I have I get $2 at the same time. Why play Sudoku on my phone when I can get $2 while enjoying this game, right? So it totally depends on you whether you are pursuing the game testing or anything on your own. If it's a company paying you or you are getting it from the game itself, it's very easy. It's relatively easy compared to the Web 2 because just the way, like, imagine you have the vending machine for Coca-Cola and you have vending machine for Pepsi. When someone goes to this area, they are gonna say, okay, do I want a Coca-Cola or do I want a Pepsi? So they have like two choices, which is yes and yes. It's in some cases no, but the relative percentage that you choose no as an answer, I don't want either of those, in the terms of proportion, in terms of statistics, is going down. When there is only one vending machine of Coca-Cola, then you're just gonna say, do I want cola or no? You have two options, not three. So no has a higher statistics rate. So that's the thing with the Web3. You have so many vending machines, you cannot even count. So it's up to you. Just go there, just investigate these vending machines, and find the money printing machine, which you can do. And I'm sure you will be able to do. Any person who has some sort of skill set, or at least if they know English, even if you're not familiar in English, there are so many communities
Localized
in
communities. Yeah.
yeah, Northwest communities, Asian communities. It's a lot, even if you don't know English. So just shoot your shot and go on your journey to the Web3. And in the process, you will learn. It will just automatically come when you're trying to do this stuff. You will learn how the transactions work. You will learn how the blockchain works, and at the same time, you will not only earn money, you will learn the basic knowledge of blockchain and its usability, and you will just be 5 steps ahead of time in 20 years when everything is going to be constantly in the digital world.
Right. You actually brought a great comparison. If I were to choose, you mentioned Coca-Cola and Pepsi, but if I were to choose to play chess, sometimes I play chess on my phone, but if I just had a Web3 chess application where the user experience is exactly the same as I have right now, and I have a decent user base, so I'm not waiting 20 minutes to find a match, right? But the Web3 chess also pays me for every win. I'm like, okay, now I actually can get good at chess because I'm getting paid. So in comparison, if it's exactly two games, the entertaining aspect is exactly the same, but the Web3 is attached to the second one, you are like, okay, so that game can pay me, I can get an NFT. So in comparison, you actually have quite a decent reason for the mass adoption. But as I said, the common challenge is a complicated process that needs to be simplified. Now, do you think that Web3 gaming, as I mentioned, my comparison could work? I mean, your comparison as well. So just in general, if we take Web2 projects that are working well and we transform them to the Web3, having the same user experience, but we also gonna reward the users for certain actions, I believe it's gonna work a lot better. But at the same time, everybody gonna have the question, right? And this question is, why would you even pay me in the first place? I think this is the biggest concern every gamer has when transition to the Web3. Like, how are they making money if they are paying me to play the game, but I'm not even paying them back anything besides my time? So why do we pay users in the games? That would be my question.
Well, it can be, first of all, your time is money, and just make sure you become aware of it is as fast as possible. Because I don't know how to explain it this to you, but every single day, I'm sure most of the people are picking up their phone and they don't even know why, and they just go either Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, X, something. They just take their phone and do stuff. Mostly they waste either 4 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours of their whole day just by looking something on the phone, doing something on the phone. And how do you think these companies have so much money, like Meta and these companies that are basically using you, which you are not, you have not paid at Instagram a single dollar, right? How are they so rich? Because they are using your time. Then they
Yeah.
use this time to convert it to advertisers, and the advertisers pay them so they can advertise some of the products to you. So this the same thought process goes in there. When they game pays you to play, they increase their user base, which they can use either to target VCs and the angel investors. Look, we have these numbers. These are real people, not the bots, and they can get them money invested out of it. Well, at the same time, it could be that they are just doing this so they can use it for the marketing to earn more money, to pay more money, to earn more money. And the thing is in Web3, the mindset in most of the cases is not like, okay, I'm talking about the projects which are genuine, and I'm not talking about the projects which are going to rug or anything. So let's assume there is a genuine project. It's in their interest. Okay, I could be earning 100% from this, but I would rather earn 90% and pay 10% to the community.
Right.
If you check the tokenomics, if you check the game economy, the burn mechanics in the Web3, and even if it's not a game project, and if it's just a Web3 project, you see DAO, you see treasury, community, you see these words very often. Because as we are small, we need to help each other to grow. We need to keep this ecosystem. For Web2 user, it's obviously not so common to be like getting paid or anything. So it leaves you like, what? Because you haven't experienced this. But the thing is, the place is small. The money is going to the crypto and it's good and it's enough for most of the projects. Some projects even get the investments that they cannot even spend, but then they go to Singapore, they rent a yacht, and then they drink. So yeah, it's very relative. But if you consider it from the point that your time is the most valuable at the moment, even than cash. Because basically now what the cash is that you hold in your hands is your time. And the faster you will understand it, the more sense it will make. And when the more sense it will make, the more you will understand how it's possible to be earning in Web3 and why I'm saying that there are unlimited ways. It's just you haven't discovered yours yet.
Right. So it's part to discover your own way. In the Web3, I believe you are absolutely right on that note. It's we are in the early stages, but there's a lot of opportunity, but it's not, it's like alpha stage. So any user who is curious about the Web3, you are not late to the Web3. Web3 is still very small, and in 10-15 years, it's still going to be considerably small in comparison to the Web2 world, which is the entire internet, the rest of the internet. So yeah, I believe our final advice for today's show, we are quite close to the finish line. It'd be just to investigate. You can go to the magic.store, you can see all the Web3 applications, you can discover applications, it's gonna save your time, energy, and money. And you can essentially just get onboarded with at least understanding what's in there and why it is in there, right? And on that note, I would like to thank you very much, Nika, for today's episode. It was a pleasurable and very interesting discussion. I personally get a lot of the insights. And to all of our community, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in our next podcast.